May I come in, sir?
Come.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so Diksha.
Yes.
Diksha is from Mathura, Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
And your optional is sociology.
Yes, sir.
Your electrical engineering power.
Yes, sir.
You are presently working.
Yes, sir. Currently working in Indian Revenue Service Income Tax.
Okay. And all right. You have not opted for Indian Foreign Service.
No, sir.
You have opted for Indian Administrative Service and Indian Police Service. So you regard Indian Administrative Service and Police Service to be superior to the Indian Revenue Service?
So not superior per se, but in terms of what I want, I feel these services are more suitable for the sort of job I would like to do. The first thing is diversity of experience. I feel All India Service, they provide the experience of working with the grassroots and also in the headquarters or even in Delhi. So the diversity of work experience and the interacting with people from wide sections of society, which is not possible in my current service.
Why working in Delhi is not possible in Indian Revenue Service? There are now a number of deputations, important deputations,
Yes, sir.
joint secretaries, which are coming from all central services.
Yes, sir.
And the present government has made it very, very clear that IAS is not the repository of wisdom. All services have
Yes, sir.
excellent, brilliant officers. So the trend is, in fact, going the other way. So in spite of that, opting for this, and supposing you land up in a cadre which may not be to your liking. So therefore, I was just wanting to find out from you that Indian Revenue Service Income Tax, as it is a very good service,
Yes, sir.
and you are opting for Indian Police and Indian Administrative Service.
Yes, sir.
So the opportunities are unlimited in all services. It's not that
Yes.
only confined to that. That answer may not cut out much ice. Okay. All right. Right. So your hobbies include listening to alternative rock music
Yes, sir.
and body weight exercises at home, writing street plays. Okay. Which was the last play which you wrote, and what was the moral message which was conveyed?
So the last play I wrote was called Dar. It was more on a psychological theme, wherein we tried to depict the different sorts of fears people have in society. For example, the fear of being excluded, the fear of failures, the fear of social sanctions. So we tried depicting those scenes, sir, and the moral messages were in different themes. For example, there was this fear of failure, which was, we depicted a scene of Milkha Singh, wherein he also had the fear of failure, but he overcame it. We depicted a scene of a husband having the fear of insecurity that the wife may be more successful. So these sort of scenes, sir, varied scenes we depicted in that play.
Okay. Now, a large number of the famous personalities, celebrities and actors, theatre has been the stepping stone, you see.
Yes, sir.
They have risen from theatre. But theatre is losing its, you can say, charm, or people are no longer so glued to the theatre. What can be done to popularize theatre?
Sir, I think first and foremost, we need to do more of it. We need to provide funding and infrastructural facilities from the government to different artists in various cities, not just the top tier, tier 1 cities, but also in tier 2, 3 cities. The infrastructure, sir, I feel is not enough. Enough number of theatres are not there. Hence, people are not pursuing it as a profession, even people who are good at it. Then, sir, we can promote it in the sense of promoting the Indian art forms of theatre. For example, the G20, so many meetings and summits are happening. So there we can maybe promote theatre, so that will increase the recognition in society. Because I feel, sir, that theatre is something which is very engaging, and if wide sections of society have a chance to go and watch a theatre, and if it is promoted well and advertised as movies are, sir.
Can you name some of the theatre artists who have made big in the Bollywood also?
Yes, sir. So there is Nasiruddin Shah. There is Kangna Ranaut from Delhi theatre scene. There is Manoj Bajpayee, sir. There are many. There is Ratna Pathak. There is Nawazuddin Siddiqui.
Talking about your income tax.
Yes, sir.
Do you think the faceless system of income tax assessment, has it done good to the department, or it is something which probably has damaged the department?
No, so I think faceless has done tremendously well as far as the process of assessments is concerned. The process is more streamlined. It is more peer review based. So a lot of technical expertise of different officers are now involved in a case rather than one single assessing officer.
But the point of view of that SSC, which was best explained when he was talking face to face along with the chartered accountant, that thing is missing in this.
So there is the provision of video conference hearing once the show cause notice for proposed additions are issued to the assessee. So we do have that opportunity given, and even if the assessee feels that one opportunity is not enough, we give it again, sir.
Yeah, but at the same time, this the assessing of authority, who has been looking after that case for several years, he is aware of the background of the case, and the assessing authority now in the faceless, he has absolutely no knowledge about that particular case except for a few papers which he is going to get. So don't you think it will be doing some sort of an injustice to the assessee?
Sir, I think as an assessing authority, it is our responsibility to understand the case properly. Previously, sir, in previous regime, only one person was looking at the case and passing the orders however they felt appropriate. But now, sir, every order goes through minimum 4 officers.
If that argument stands valid, then all over the country, the judiciary should decide the cases in the same way, that it should be faceless, or the revenue system, the courts should also be faceless. Do you think it is going to help out the matter, or it is going to complicate the matters?
Sir, I think judiciary, it adjudicates cases from all sections of society. So the poorest also is there in judiciary for the cases fighting for justice. But in our service, especially the strata of society we deal with, are not particularly the most weakest, poorest or vulnerable sections. So these people, they mostly have knowledge of internet and the digital systems, and even CAs are quite equipped at that. So I feel that it has rationalized the system, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Diksha, some questions from sociology. Which are the areas of your interest?
Sir, I like classical sociological theories by Durkheim, Marx, Weber.
Very well. Then we'll talk about, have you read Hegel also?
Sir, not read it in detail, but in reference in Marx theory.
Okay. So Marx talks about alienation.
Yes, sir.
And Weber also talks about alienation.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference? What is Marxian alienation and what is Weberian alienation? I think Weberian alienation, in due course of time, anybody who remains in bureaucracy will experience.
Yes, sir.
So that is the hint.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the Marxian idea of alienation is estrangement of labor from their work, the product of their labor, the production environment, and the wider society. But so the Weberian idea mostly pertains to structures of bureaucracy, wherein Weber says that the bureaucracy is a rationalized system, but eventually it will be an iron cage of bureaucracy. And in that iron cage, people may feel disenchantment due to increasing rationalization. So that is the idea.
What does he call it? Iron cage of?
Iron cage of rationality, I think.
Okay. Let's talk about Durkheim a little bit then.
Yes.
He talks about 4 types of suicides.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me which are those suicides?
Yes, sir.
And what prompts them?
Sir, Durkheim says that it's the suicidal currents in society and wider social trends rather than
What does he call it?
individualistic choices.
What is the exact word?
Suicidogenic forces,
Suicidogenic impulse.
impulses.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So he says there are 4 types of suicide. One is anomic suicide. One is fatalistic suicide. One is
Another word from A only.
yes, sir. Anomic. So basically, there are 2 forces: forces of integration and forces of regulation. So
Altruistic.
altruistic suicide. So when the force of integration is very high in society.
So can you give an example of altruistic suicide?
Yes, the soldiers who are going to fight our battles.
Okay. And Weber also talks about the Protestant ethics.
Yes, sir.
So what is Protestant ethics?
So Protestant ethics means a set of ideas and values which were percolated at that point of time by Protestants like Calvin, Jean Calvin.
How it led to the rise of
Yes,
capitalism?
Sir. So Marxian theory says that capitalism has risen only because of the economic structures. But Weberian theory says that also Protestant ethics and wider social trends have led to rise of capitalism. So values like time is money, values like work is worship, these values have inherently led to the efficient. Yes, sir, thrift, values of thrift. These values have inherently led to capitalist systems which he finds more efficient and rational as per modern society.
So, from the current scenario, can you cite few examples that indeed there is something like this? I'll give you a hint. From American, some of the icons who lead a very simple life and who are multi-billionaires.
So Steve Jobs, for example, he always wore that one black turtleneck. He did not believe in extravagance. Even Ratan Tata, sir, he is also not into extravagance. Warren Buffett also, sir, his ideas are also on similar lines. In fact, most of the CEOs we see today are Protestants in America rather than Catholics. So that also sort of proves what Weber was saying. Maybe
that ethics.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Are you a beneficiary of reservation?
Yes, sir.
When was the first time you got reservation?
Sir, after my 12th standard, when I appeared for IIT JEE.
And any time after that?
So after that, I availed it while appearing for civil services examination.
Okay. And now also you'll get it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's discuss this.
Yes, sir.
You know, reservation was initially for 10 years.
Yes.
Then it was extended for 75 years because people felt that the society, certain section of society repeatedly got the benefits, but the others could not benefit from this. So now I have observed you for the last 10 minutes. I think you're very brilliant.
Thank you,
and you don't really need a reservation. Now, should it be that for the reason that it was extended from 10 years to 75 so that other people benefit, reservation should be given to the person only once? What is your view?
Sir, I think the idea of reservation is about representation. So an objective assessment has to be done by the government whether representation of all the communities and all the sections are there at different levels. So to achieve that, if it takes one generation of once or twice availing reservation or thrice, that will be achieved through an objective assessment of the data, sir. But as of now, what we see that in our society, yes, not every scheduled caste candidate is not in menial jobs or is not a manual scavenger, but every manual scavenger or most of the people in menial jobs, they come from these deprived sections.
My question was a little different. My question was, if we want, the benefits to go to the society, part of the society which hasn't got this benefit, then if you had this reservation once and the other 2 times it was available to somebody else, then the benefit of reservation is being spread amongst a larger section of people. So
Yes, sir, definitely. That could be and should be considered. Maybe eventually a creamy layer could also be considered for SC/ST reservation. But, sir, I feel that along with that, an objective assessment is important, that in different sections, even the higher most post in administrative or judicial or legislatives, is there enough representation there? Because today, if I'm getting this support, I may end up there.
Are you trying to suggest that, let's say you become a civil servant here, and to have a representation in the hierarchy of that service, there should be a reservation?
Sir, reservation
Or
and
hereafter it
promotions.
is on merit, because the benefit of reservation has come, and from what I see you'll compete with anybody. That's my impression.
So that is true, that is true. But, so reservation and promotions is an idea which is being talked about and discussed, but the legislative, even though they have a provision for it in the law, they are not currently, they are not thinking it's wise to do so. I also agree, sir, that once someone gets the access, it is about access, but after you get the access, then it should be on your merit. But, sir, there is also cases wherein discrimination have been happened, we've heard about it at the highest levels in terms of appointments. So I feel, sir, at the end, it is about representation, and there should be representation for all the historically disadvantaged communities at all the levels, sir.
All right. You're from Mathura.
Yes, sir.
What is the Place of Worship Act? And of course, you see what happened in Ayodhya.
Yes.
Mathura is another place which is in a manner as sentimental and emotional to Indians as was Ayodhya. So
Yes,
there is some issue there about Mathura, about certain religious place being,
yes, sir.
what is that?
So the issue is that there is a land which belongs to the Janmbhoomi temple. And so on that land, since a very long time, a mosque also is there. Shahi Eidgah Mosque, I think, sir. So now it's a dispute that that mosque should be made somewhere else because the land belongs to the temple, and that is why people from Hindu community there are protesting.
So what is your view on what should be done?
So my view is that most important communal peace should be there in the area. Communal harmony, sir, should be there. So and sentiments of neither community should be heard, sir. So the matter has to be taken in that regard. If
So a solution, something like Ayodhya, everybody accepted that verdict without much complaint. But then does it go against the constitution, that versus of Place of Worship Act?
So in Place of Worship Act, there is a specific exception for Ayodhya, but such an exception is not there for Mathura. So for Mathura, I feel that once, as per Places of Worship Act, if before independence that place was already of one faith, then it cannot be converted, it cannot be changed. So, but the specific exception was there for Ayodhya in the Act, sir. But that exception is not for Mathura. So I feel in case of...
You're suggesting we leave it as status quo?
Yes, sir. Community harmony building exercises need to be there. More conversations need to be there between both the communities and the administration. And I feel a consensus, some sort of consensus need to be arrived at.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Diksha, if we go by your argument,
Yes.
that means the policy of reservation will continue for all times to come?
No,
There will
sir.
be no end to it?
No, sir. So once the desired goal of representation is achieved, then, sir, I feel that this policy should be done away with and affirmative action for more
What is the
deprived
goal?
sections.
What is the goal you're talking about?
So goal is empowerment of the historically disadvantaged, because social exclusion leads to deprivation of social capital, sir, or economic capital. So that sort of deprivation, which has been going for more than 2000 years, sir, or even for till as long we know, I don't think that until and unless we uplift these communities, I don't think that it should go, but it should
Are
be
you aware
rationalized,
of
as
the-
sir said.
Okay. Are you aware of the challenges being faced by the rural Dalits? They are the deprived society. They
Yes,
should
sir.
be given, and they have never been, their grievances have never been attended to. They didn't have the opportunity to study also. Why can't we focus on them?
Yes, sir, we should focus on them. So my father was a rural Dalit. I still go to my village.
But it should not go on,
Yes, sir. It
Even
should not
after
go on.
becoming, as you go up in your career, in class 1 service, group A, it should stop somewhere.
Yes, sir, it is stopping after the access is provided in terms of employment. Then it is stopping. Now it is on my merit, the promotions I get, the appointments I get. So I feel that, and also, sir, it should be rationalized in terms of creamy layer, as I said. If one is earning certain income, then they already have that access. So that could be done, sir.
Okay. You belong to Income Tax Service.
Yes, sir.
A suggestion was made by a former member of parliament, Dr. Subramanian Swamy, and his suggestion was to do away altogether with the income tax. He said it should be restricted. I'm talking of personal income tax. It should be restricted only to the corporate sector, the private sector, not to other
Yes, sir.
sectors. So what do you think about it? And then he said the people who are presently in the service, they should be redeployed somewhere else.
Yes, sir. Sir, I feel tax is a legal and a moral obligation of a citizen. So every citizen earning certain income above the basic exemption limit should pay tax. India being a consumption-led economy, sir, we should not tax expenditure. That is not progressive. But income tax, if someone is earning higher incomes, even as individuals, sir, I feel it is progressive that they should pay their legal obligation as per the social contract theory of the state, sir. But, sir,
Let them pay indirect taxes. Why
sir, indirect taxes are not progressive, sir. Someone earning just 15,000 rupees is also paying the same amount of GST on a packet of food, biscuits, sir. That is not fair if someone earning 50 lakhs, sir. But the government is trying to reduce the personal income tax rates in form of new tax regime. Now till 7 lakhs, one can pay no income tax. So we are trying to reduce the taxation rates and rationalize it also for corporates. But I don't think it should go away.
Okay. Recently, there was a demand made by a section of Hindus to create a country which is Hindu Rashtra.
Okay, yes, sir.
Do you support this idea?
No, sir, I don't support it. I feel it's a secular nation and people of all faiths live in this nation together. Our unity is actually in our diversity, sir. So I feel that this sort of a demand, it will challenge the very fabric of our society and will lead to more destabilization.
It is unconstitutional also. Don't you think so? It is unconstitutional.
It's unconstitutional, sir. That is the most important thing, that we are a secular nation.
Then why no action is being taken by the government of the day against people who are raising this demand? When very vocal, day in, day out, we are watching in the you have also seen
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes.
Does it send a good signal to the society at large?
Sir, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. But, sir, being a democratic nation, that is also one of the challenges, that everyone will voice their opinions and the government has to listen. But the government has to be wise enough, sir, to take the decision for the benefit of the larger society and to not pay heed to decisions which may lead to more destabilization of society. But we cannot stop people from voicing their opinions.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Diksha, taking it further from where my colleague left, have you heard about bank transaction tax?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
Ma'am, it is a proposal wherein we tax every banking transaction.
Do you think it is a wise idea to replace income tax with bank transaction tax?
No, ma'am. I don't think it's a wise
Why?
idea. Ma'am, I think if we only tax the banking transactions, that it will incentivize more cash-based economy. People will start their workings, the economics workings in cash, which we don't want to encourage because then it cannot be tracked. So that is one problem. Secondly, ma'am, banking transaction tax again is not progressive because everyone on the similar amount will have to pay similar tax. But I feel that the richer, they have a more liability towards the society. So predominantly for these two reasons, ma'am.
What is the current size of unorganized economy of India?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the exact number, but I think it is more than 80% of the economy.
And why are we not able to formalize it? What is the challenge in formalizing it?
Ma'am, there are varied challenges. One is mostly labor laws. A rationalization has to be done so that it is more friendly to the corporate regime also, so that it's not so difficult to hire and fire labor if they want. But at the same time, we need to have that balance of social protection for the laborers also. Then, ma'am, we don't have enough social security net schemes, so we're not able to capture people outside the formal economy into the formalized system. Ma'am, ease of doing business is also the regulations. The Economic Survey recently called it the regulatory cholesterol of the economy. So over-regulation is there, which may lead to even strangulation of the corporate sector. So I feel that these are the reasons they would like to be outside the formal economy. And yes, ma'am, one most important, that they would also like to evade taxes, which is easier in informal economy.
Diksha, what is your idea on this new buzz of cryptocurrency? Some people say that it is only a bubble and it will go away in some time. Do you think that's true, since you have engineering background also, and
yes,
now you are working in the Ministry of Finance?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I don't think it will go away. Crypto currently all over the world is an $800 billion is at this value currently. So I don't think that the magnitude of this, it will go away. But what we need to do is now we need to regulate it and have systems wherein we accept that this is a part of the future economy, but how do we make sure that it is not being misused?
Diksha, how are challenges for a woman officer different from that of a male officer?
Ma'am, one is in the mindset that women are suited for particular roles, that they will perform in those roles better. For example, in my job, so we have this search duties, wherein we have to go for the, as we colloquially call, raids. So mostly they send women to the residences, and male officers get the chance to be in corporate head offices or the main factories, because a lot of man management is going to be there. So they feel that is how it is. But I feel this mindset has to eventually go away, ma'am.
Diksha, you see, you are a woman who has resources and who has reached a place.
Yes, ma'am.
Even then, you are struggling with gender stereotypes.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you think should be done in our society so that our women genuinely become empowered?
Ma'am, have more and more women in all the sectors. Have women in STEM, have women in arts.
But some people are opposing having women in command roles in army. Do you think that opposition is fair?
Ma'am, I'm not aware of the technical workings of army, but I see that there is a change. There is a positive change. The Air Force recently had a woman in command post. So now maybe army will also consider in roles where it is possible currently, because I hear that there are some infrastructural issues like washrooms are not there at some places. So army workings are, being someone from civil services, I may not be able to fathom their challenges. So it's not right for me to say that it's currently fair or unfair. But this is an idea. Women inclusion is an idea they should consider, and I think they are considering it also.
Okay, my last question to you would be, some people feel that live-in relationships are damaging the social fabric of our society.
Yes, ma'am.
And we've seen multiple cases of people abusing their partners in live-in relationships.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your opinion on them?
My opinion on live-in relationships?
Yes.
Ma'am, as the highest court of the land has said that it is not illegal anymore. So, if someone believes that they want to do it, so I think it's a choice. But for me personally, if you ask my opinion on it, I feel that I don't support it, because I feel that it may there more complications may arise, ma'am. There are cases of domestic violence, as you said, is increasing.
But in marriages also.
Yes, ma'am. But in marriage, there is also some institutional protection that the women can go to their families They can, at police, they can still go to.
In live-in relationship also, they
Ma'am,
can go
most
to
of the
police.
women, they are not, it's not suitable, it's not currently viable for them to tell this to their parents openly, that okay, I am living with this person. Mostly it is happening by hiding, and I don't want to have that many hidden things in my life. So personally, I don't like it, but if someone is engaged in it, I feel that it's a choice, ma'am. Absolutely, it's a choice, and it has to be respected, and the woman has to be protected.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So Diksha, your mock interview is over.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take you back to the waiting room for a while. We'll call you back for the feedback.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. May I come in, sir?
Come. Have a seat, Diksha.
Thank you, sir.
So Diksha, first of all, tell me, when is your interview?
10th April, sir.
Okay. How many marks did you get last time in the interview?
176.
Good marks. 176 is not bad. Very good. And how many marks have you done, Diksha, this time?
So this is my 6th.
6th. Okay. Any more to go also after this?
So now I'm hoping to get a leave after 10 days. So till then I will give, then I will study, sir, because right now I have not had the time to sit and study.
Where are you posted now?
Sir, Assessment Unit, Delhi, Civic Center.
Okay. So Diksha, first of all, tell us, how do you think you performed at this mock? Your own assessment?
Sir, the why IAS answer I could not convince you, because I have tried it at other places. It seemed to do well there, but not here. So I have to refine that answer. Then, sir, I don't know if the viewpoints I took were right or wrong. That I'm not sure, because I don't think any other mock I was asked controversial questions or opinion-based. It was mostly factual. So I think this was a very good experience in that, first experience at that. So I don't know, I think I did average.
Right. Diksha, first of all, let me say that your performance has been outstanding.
Thank you, sir.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
And you are brilliant in every respect. Knowledge, articulation, communication.
Thank you, sir.
This is just small one thing, which is for your advantage, for you. There may be controversial questions, as you yourself mentioned, and where sometimes one may have personal views, sometimes may get provoked also, sometimes.
Yes.
In this case, always go by the adage, less is more. Okay. Need to know basis. Don't speak more than what is necessary.
Okay,
A measured reply. So whether issue is reservation, it can be Article 370, it can be demonetization, it can be love jihad controversy, it can be hijab controversy, it can be Central Vista project, it can be Statue of Unity. These are all issues in which people may have different views about it. Your aim is to secure marks there, not enter into any kind of issues, taking up issues with anyone. So give very measured reply. Don't go outside that thing. In fact, your reply, when you later on came regarding reservation, that was a very good thing. When you said later on, yes, that it has to be, fine-tuned. The most important thing, it should reach those sectors, which are the most disadvantaged sector. Okay?
Yes.
That was sufficient. And don't go too deep into that. If you go deep into that, what is happening is that you get more and more involved into that.
Yes,
and ultimately what happens, you pick up an argument with a panelist, which is not required. Your aim is not to enter into an argument. Your aim is not to take risks in interview. Your risk you will take later on when you will become an IAS officer.
Yes.
Right now, don't take that risk.
I'll
Your
take note.
answers are fabulous, very good, very knowledgeable, but to be on the side of caution,
Yes, sir.
only what is necessary, that's all. And have a progressive outlook. Your own opinion, like live-in relationship or reservation policy, don't bring that into it. What is a logical thinking man or woman would think about it? Go on that line. In any case, your saying so is not going to change the reservation policy.
Yes, sir.
But your views are important. That you can think on both the sides of the coin.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir. I'll
I
take
hope
note.
you understand what I'm trying to
understand.
say. Okay. Now coming to Diksha, your mental alertness, excellent. Your presence of mind, very good. Choice of right words, right framing of sentences, smooth delivery, your poise, your demeanor, your confidence. You were giving honest answer. There was no bluffing. The answers were very rational, very logical, very objective, very cogent. Everything is perfect. And you are definitely, I would say that with this performance, you should definitely get far, far more number of marks. Somewhere around 200, one would like to expect.
Yes, sir.
Coming to some specific areas where you can study and take leave for all that matter, do take leave, because here is an opportunity. Don't miss this opportunity.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure you must have done quite well in your written paper also. Have you done?
So this time I did better than the last time.
Okay.
So let's see.
What dress will you be wearing on that occasion?
So I'll wear a sari.
Sorry. Now the areas which are generally the overall thing which I would like to mention, read the Constitution. Okay?
Yes.
Everything about the Constitution. You have a lot of time. So from preamble till the last, read the Constitution. Read GS2, GS3, GS4, just brush up.
Yes.
The values which are required for a public servant, good governance principles, citizen-centric administration, ARC2 report, ethical dilemmas where you may be posed those ethical dilemma, how will you react to that? How will you bring down the corruption? How will you make things move? And then, of course, certainly about your own department where you are working in. So some questions may be asked about chartered accountants and the faceless and many other schemes which have been brought about by income tax.
Yes.
Coming to some other things like the foreign policy of India. Do read how it has traveled 75 years. What are the present pillars of the foreign policy? India and its neighbors. India and relation with China, USA and Russia. Russia-Ukraine war. What challenges it has posed to the world and what are the advantages to India? Okay. Why is it that we are moving from globalization to deglobalization the world over? Everyone has started talking about itself, mainly because of COVID-19. 2 years, the economic development came almost to a standstill.
Yes, sir.
And then Russia-Ukraine war, supply chain disruption, which has taken place. So therefore, everyone has started formulating policies of self-reliance. So India has also done that. That is Atmanirbhar Bharat, prepared that. Also, please read about the United Nations, Security Council, permanent seat, India's arguments, role of UNESCO, UNICEF, WHO, also the world level global problems facing this world now, climate change being the most important, but then are others like terrorism, drugs, migration, poverty, inequality, AIDS. What is being done at the global level? The indices, how India is favoring. It is favoring badly in many of the indices.
Yes, sir.
The argument for that, you prepare quite good
Yes, sir.
reply for that. Things like privatization, PPP model, asset monetization pipeline, the budget, salient points, and also economic survey of India. This is the other thing which I would like you. And lastly, 3 things. Internal security challenges. How a public policy cycle goes through from problem identification to evaluation. There are 6 steps. The civil servant takes part in all those 6 steps. That is the uniqueness of civil service. Why you are aiming for the Indian administrative service. Diversity, leadership positions, part of the public governance, touching the lives of the citizens of this country. Also taking part in all the 6 steps of the policy making. Lot of creativity, lot of innovation, lot of satisfaction, lot of challenges. That is why one wants to go into the Indian administrative service and Indian police service. Okay. This is about nutshell. If you happen to have any questions, you can ask.
Sir, the first question you asked that
Yes.
why I'm aiming for administrative and police service.
Yeah.
So in that question, I was not able to frame it rightly, but I want to get your opinion on whether what I'm thinking is correct. Sir, so two reasons I had thought of it. The first reason was the diversity of the work experience I'll get, especially in the administrative service. Because one day I'm working in animal husbandry, next time petroleum, and even in terms of diversity of the people I get to interact with, the urban, rural India, both I get to see. So that sort of diversity, I feel it will enrich me as an officer and make me a more accomplished officer later to be working in policy making.
That's a good argument.
And the second reason, sir, is definitely the promotional aspect also, sir. Because it is being said that officers from all services are being considered, but that number is still in a very small minority. And most of the most important positions have been occupied by the administrative officers on account of the diverse experience they have also, I believe. So that is also a reason. Should I say that?
No.
I shouldn't.
You should not. The other things which I have told you, what is uniqueness of these services in terms of public policy implementation, the challenges which you get in district administration, you know, that is different kind of challenge.
Yes.
Don't base your argument on the promotion, because now every service have got that apex scale, you know, 80,000 or old scale, and now 250,000. So every service, there are topmost position which are there. If you base your argument on that, probably it will not cut eyes. Though certain posts, now you can see, they will counter argument. CVC, now it is not an IAS officer who is generally get posted. Many chairman, managing directors, they are all service officers from different services. Railway service, Indian Revenue Service, there are officers. So your argument can be rebutted that way. Why do you unnecessarily bring that argument regarding promotion?
Yes.
Which may be a latent reason. But the arguments which you should support is, one is diversity, a lot of creativity, lot of challenges, and leadership position at a young age, also being a part of the public policy. So this is the argument.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any other thing you would like to ask?
So then in the diversity thing, it may get rebutted with in why I also mentioned Indian police service. So they may say that there is no diversity.
So police also may not be that diverse, but still police does offer many situations, like you can be part of the Central Armed Police Forces, you can be in Intelligence Bureau, you can be in Central Bureau of Investigation, you can be in Interpol, you see. So there are diversities, though not to that extent as in the Indian Administrative Service, but there are. If you don't want, you can, but I still feel that diversity is a very major argument.
So that is the foremost reason, sir, why I am writing.
You should have that. You see that Indian Police Service also has got huge amount of diversity, which it is. You can be in BPR&D, you can be in the CRPF, you can be in Border Security Force, you can be in CBI, you can be in IB, you can be in RAW.
Yes, sir.
So many things are there.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
All the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.